here's a story about Chelsea Manning, right? So Chelsea Manning, Chelsea Manning revealed war crimes of the empire. And so they've been torturing Chelsea ever since. Barack Obama did it first. That's what they do to people who reveal war crimes. They torture them, and everybody thinks we're a good country. Everybody thinks Barack Obama's Santa Claus. And so then now he's being tortured under the Trump administration, and what they're trying to do is trying to get her to lie and say that Julian Assange induced, assisted or helped to get those hacked files.
Because then he's not a publisher.
Right.
Then he becomes a terrorist. He committed a war crime. He's treason. Which is bullshit. But
they're torturing her for a false confession.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing. Yes. So that's exactly. And so now, here.
Former U.S. Army analyst Chelsea Manning was released Thursday from a Virginia jail where she'd been held for almost a year for contempt. Manning had refused to testify before a grand jury in the ongoing WikiLeaks investigation. She attempted suicide on Wednesday. The judge said the grand jury no longer needed to hear from her. Manning had already served 7 years in a military prison for leaking secret government files.
So, judge orders Chelsea Manning to be released from jail. So at first I was excited. I was like, this is good news. This is great. Wow, judge with principles. But, let's just read this. I started to think like, oh, wait a minute. No. Why would this judge let Chelsea out? Why would they do this? Because it seems like maybe they don't need Chelsea anymore for Julian Assange. Maybe they got something else. So that's my fear. What about anything?
I when I heard about it, I thought it was good news, but it's not surprising. I don't know what else.
I think it's like one of those good news with an asterisk, right? Like it's good news she is free, of course, but first of all, I mean, this situation is beyond ridiculous, and that's putting it mildly. She should have never been in this situation, and also, she gets to pay $250,000 for the luxury of being a living assault on press freedom. So there's a lot of other things going on here.
So here's a story a little bit. A judge on Thursday ordered former Army intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning to be released from prison, where she's being held in contempt. Manning was also ordered to pay $256,000 in fines.
Yeah.
What? Accrued during her detention. The order comes just a day after. What judge could do that to her? What kind of a judge would say,
That's what the government should be giving her. They should be giving her that money and then some every day for the rest of her life that accompanies a note that just says, we're very sorry and nothing like this will ever happen again in human history. That's in a just world, that's where that, transaction, that's how that would happen.
Yeah, if the world was fair,
Chelsea
would be getting paid for doing a service to humanity.
Yeah, maybe we'd be out of all these horrifying wars. We'd stop killing all these innocent people in the Middle East for profit because she did the right thing and she's an American hero.
Yeah, if the world was fair. But as Randy Newman told us, the world isn't fair. He wrote a song, Karl Marx. Karl, the world isn't fair. It isn't and never will be. They tried out your plan. It brought misery instead. If you seen how they worked it, you'd be glad you were dead. Just like I'm glad I'm living in the land of the free, where the rich just get richer and the poor you don't never have to see. It would depress us, Karl, because we care that the world isn't fair. But the world isn't fair.
Nope.
Judge Anthony Trenga ruled that Manning's appearance before the grand jury is no longer needed, in light of which her detention no longer serves any coercive purpose. Manning's release is not dependent on her paying the money. Manning, who worked as an intelligence analyst in Iraq, was convicted in 2013 for leaking classified government and military documents to WikiLeaks and given a 35-year military sentence. President Obama commuted her sentence in 2017 before he left office. Not after he tortured her, though, for a while. 2 years later, Manning was jailed again in March 2019 for refusing to testify in front of a grand jury investigating WikiLeaks. Manning has repeatedly objected to the grand juries and said she was not willing to testify. Man, I don't have the strength of Chelsea Manning.
No way.
I would testify. I think I would. You can't. I'd crack like a pretzel. Are you kidding me?
It's like it's what her and Julian Assange have had to go through. It's unbelievable, and it's impressive.
And Snowden too. I mean, all of them, and we're living through this in real time. It's.
In 2019, Chelsea told a judge Trenga in a letter, "I object to this grand jury as an effort to frighten journalists and publishers who serve a crucial public good. I have had these values since I was a child, and I've had years of confinement to reflect on them. For much of that time, I depended for survival on my values, my decisions, and my conscience. I will not abandon them now." I am not half the person that Chelsea Manning is. No. I am not worthy. And here, let's help Chelsea out. So Chelsea Manning has to pay her court fines. So everybody go donate. Already got 104,000 raised. That's nice. So everybody go. Maybe and Arno, could you put a link to that underneath this video? Can you remember? Write yourself a note because I'll forget to tell you.
Yeah, and the best way to find it if you're looking for it in real time right now, like Chelsea Manning's Twitter. It's a good place to grab it because she'll retweet it and
her legal team, especially in light of the suicide attempt, has been trying to give as much updated information as possible there on Twitter.
Oh yeah, okay, great. All right, so tip of the hat again to Chelsea Manning, and and it always makes me resentful of the U.S. corporate media because they pretend to stand up to power to Trump, and they are not standing up to power. Because if they were, they'd be put in jail. We have a war criminal enterprise known as the United States of America, and our empire has set the world on fire so we could steal other countries' natural resources and give profits to our corporations. Trump says it right out in the open now. We're leaving the troops there to guard the oil. And Chelsea Manning's in prison. And Julian Assange is being tortured. Hey everybody, the next live Jimmy Dore show is May 1st in Minneapolis, and then we're going to Chicago. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for all the tickets to all our live shows, and become a premium member at jimmydorcomedy.com/join. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Thanks for your support.